morning. A very warm welcome to all of you to the second day sessions of the National Productivity Summit 2021. We have witnessed excellent keynote addresses by Mr. Soumitra Bhattacharya, President and Managing Director, Bosch Limited, and Mr. B. Santanand, CEO Asia Pacific and India Region, Saint Gobain Group yesterday. And a number of case study presentations from UCAL Fuel Systems, Mahindra & Mahindra Kandivali Plant, ZF Wabco India, Hindustan Aeronautics, Watson and Chalian India, Roop Automotives, Bharat Electronics, and Budweg Autocoms. We start today's proceedings with a very enriching keynote presentation by one of the renowned industry leaders, Mr. T.R. Parasuraman, President and Whole-Time Director, Toyota Industries Engine India, on managing costs by improving productivity. Mr. Parasuraman has completed his mechanical engineering from Madras University, postgraduate in technology operation from BITS Pilani, and a management program from IIM Bangalore. He comes with a rich experience in various domains of manufacturing. He has visited more than 20 countries to understand and discuss on the best practices in manufacturing. He has addressed many conferences in India and abroad on lean manufacturing, HR, and quality management. Mr. Parasuraman is the immediate past president of Bangalore Chamber of Industry and Commerce and has played a vital role in industry reforms for promoting ease of doing business. Following the keynote presentation, we will have case study presentation from Associated Plasmatron from SME sector, Bosch, Mahindra & Mahindra, Rudrapur plant, and TVS Motor Company, in addition to a technology presentation from Autodesk. Following this, we will have the grand finale, the IMTMA ACE Micromatic Productivity Championship Awards 2021 presentation that will crown the productivity champions this afternoon at 12:40 p.m. We invite all of you to please join us at this awards presentation ceremony. Mr. Parasuraman, we look forward to hearing your thoughts on how companies can manage costs by improving productivity. I now invite Mr. T.R. Parasuraman to deliver the keynote address.
Very good morning to you all. I deem it a great pleasure and privilege to share some of my thoughts on this National Productivity Summit, the 15th edition of IMTMA. My hearty congratulations to the team IMTMA for this wonderful initiative to promote manufacturing and cost competitiveness in our country. So the topic today is achieving cost competitiveness through productivity improvement. This is very much a relevant topic in the current context because India is trying to pep up the manufacturing GDP from the current 7-8% to 15-20% in the next decade. And all the more, India has got the unique advantage of young population. Normally, countries move from manufacturing to service sector as they age. But India has a very unique advantage of moving from a service sector, predominantly 55-60%, to a manufacturing sector because of the huge demographics of dividend of the young population. Unlike aging countries like China, Japan, many parts of Europe and United States. So this is a very unique strategic advantage. And second advantage I see is also that because of the aging population, definitely whether we like it or not, India will get huge manufacturing opportunity from the rest of the world. So not only factory India, but market India. Therefore, there is a huge captive market in India, other than the huge manufacturing opportunities outside because of the aging population happening in the other countries. Therefore, this is going to be a great opportunity for India. And added to that, India has been advancing on leaps and bounds in terms of Industry 4.0, be it the IoT, the machine learning and artificial intelligence, big data analytics, blockchain, 3D printing, so on and so forth. Therefore, all this will integrate to form a new set of paradigm shift in the manufacturing. And India has got a very unique strategic advantage, not only as a low-cost manufacturing country, but India can quickly embrace these technologies to create a future new paradigm in manufacturing. So given this context, achieving the cost competitiveness is very, very significant and important to take this nation forward. So when I look at cost competitiveness, we need to achieve cost competitiveness in several areas. The manufacturing cost competitiveness, infrastructure cost competitiveness, logistics cost competitiveness, labor cost competitiveness, ease of doing business cost competitiveness. So as a country, we need to address all these factors. But today, I'll be focusing more on the manufacturing cost competitiveness from organization's point of view. So I will be touching upon basically the 4 pillars built on the foundation of safety, forests, people, and work culture. The first pillar being the work culture, the people development, systems and standards, and continuous develop activities. So the basic foundation is safety and forests. So people and work culture, I've addressed it as a separate pillar. So you can look at safety and forests as a basic foundation. So we can create organizations for the future only if we have a very good safety consciousness, a safe and reliable plant. Clean and a safe plant can create that kind of change. And if safety is lost, everything is lost. And to create safety, forest is a basic foundation. Of course, the 5th is Shitsuke. According to the Japanese culture, it is a discipline. Therefore, once the 4S happens, automatically the 5th one is more of a self-control that happens over a period of time. But the first 4S basically starting from single S, meaning what is required, what is not required, and how to sort out what is required, and how to have a good clean situation for whatever we are storing in terms of tidiness, and how to have a system to maintain this whole system. So the 4S constitutes this, and the 5th is Shitsuke, means self-discipline, which is very important to take it forward. And safety, as I talked about, I think is the base of everything. So even very small accidents are reported to top management, and occurrence countermeasures are put in place. Safe people and safe working conditions, safe machinery, all this constitute a safe working atmosphere. And starting from morning oath, then the basic confirmations for safety points before starting a job, then reporting the accidents in a timely manner, and taking occurrence countermeasures for all accidents, and above all, developing a strong safety consciousness across the organizations at all levels, all functions is very, very important. So I will touch upon the work culture pillar. What it means is clear roles and responsibilities, total employee involvement activities, what we say the Zenin Sanka in Japanese. Of course, greetings, mutual trust and cooperation, mission and vision, ethics and corporate values, sincere attitude, and motivating environment. I don't want to touch upon all these important areas because I'll be focusing more on the cost area, but I will briefly touch upon the roles and responsibilities. And of course, employee involvement is how to involve the employees in all their activities to bring the best out of everything in all the company activities. This is very, very important. And schemes such as celebrations, company events, birthday parties, recognizing contributions in open meetings, and also conducting big events like Quality Month, Safety Month, Environment Month, and company-wide meetings, and recognizing them is very, very important. Greetings, starting with morning greetings, namaskara, good morning. It's very important to develop mutual trust and cooperation. I think this is again a very, very important pillar. because many organizations cannot succeed if they don't have the mutual trust and cooperation. So the total support of employees, the union and management are two sides of the same coin. I think this mutual trust and cooperation is very, very significant to take the organizations forward. And everything should have a transparency and an open approach. Then the mission and vision are very important. Organization should have a clear mission, vision, and guiding principles. And everybody should understand the mission, vision in a very clear, simple language. And everybody should walk the talk on the same focus again and again. This is very important. Ethics and corporate values, no questions. I think is a fundamental foundation of any organizations. It should be demonstrated clearly at all levels. And of course, a sincere attitude, which goes without saying. I think this means how do we empower people? How do we create a frank and open atmosphere? And people come out with the real problems. And problems are always visualized, and everybody participates in solving the problem. And of course, motivating environment is very important. So at the end of the day, all employees should feel homely, and in such atmosphere, I think creativity blossoms and organizations reap the huge benefits. So the frank discussions, all these things happen in an open and motivating environment. So I will briefly touch upon the clear roles and responsibilities. What I mean here is every level, the team member, the immediate supervisor, the team leader, the next supervisor, group leader, assistant manager, manager, and beyond. All the roles and responsibilities are very clearly defined. And these people are also developed very clearly on the roles and responsibilities. And even before promoting them, we should have a pre-promotion training, after promoting, post-promotion training. All these things are very significantly important. You may be asking why these kind of connected pillars are very important. To achieve and maximize cost competitiveness, it is impossible without this integration of these four pillars. It is like the human body. I think if you have to think very smartly, clearly through the brain, it has to be supported by all other organs, such as the heart, the lungs, the kidney, the liver. All these things should support, and brain will be able to perform in its best. And exactly happens in an organization is cost competitiveness is a result of all these pillars built on the foundation of 4S and safety. Next pillar I would like to briefly touch upon, people development or human resource development. So I was listening to Mr. Watanabe, the former president of Toyota Motor Corporation in Japan. He said in one of the International Quality Circle forums, the shortest way to develop an organization, to prosper an organization, is through people, people, and only people. There is no other shortcut. So still that words echo in my mind. Therefore, people development is extremely, extremely, extremely important. When I say people development, three basic areas: attitude, knowledge, and skill. Even if you have the best of the knowledge and skill, if attitude is lost, everything is lost. It is like a flower without fragrance. Therefore, attitude again is the foundation of all the three. If you have the attitude, you can easily pick up knowledge and skill. But if you don't have the attitude, whatever knowledge and skill also is ruined. It is waste. Next is Quality Circle, QCC. QCC is a very, very important human development tool. This is to bring the best out of people. We have the Johari window, the four quadrants. The first quadrant says, I know, that is self-confidence. Second quadrant says, I know that I don't know, that is humility. Third quadrant, I don't know that I know, that is latent talent. And the fourth quadrant, I don't know that I don't know. This is ignorance. I think quality circles really help us to promote and wake up people from the third and fourth quadrant and bring them to light. So through quality circles, we achieve huge benefits, and many organizations misunderstand quality circle as a cost achievement tool. No, the purpose of quality circle is to develop human beings in their fullest potential And again, I was listening to Mr. Watanabe in one of the quality circle forums in Japan. He said through quality circles, you can develop 5 works. The first work, he says, is the footwork. Footwork is not cricket, but going to the point of action where the problem happens and understanding the problem by oneself using all the 5 senses: observing, hearing, touching, smelling, and tasting. And of course, the 6th sense, the common and mostly uncommon. So understanding the problem at source through all the senses and the 6th common sense is the starting point of a big breakthrough. Many times we tend to solve problems without understanding the problem, and that becomes the biggest problem. So quality circle, the first big impact, the work is the footwork. Second is the teamwork. So we work in teams, we learn from other people, we respect other people, we participate and also contribute. At the same time, we also learn from other people. So the teamwork develops and blossoms. Third work is head work. So we have to do millions of things at a time, but what is the most important thing, the prioritized theme that we need to focus? I think this is prioritization. Head work, we need to really sort it out. For example, through the head work, we understand the big picture. When you describe Earth from a horizontal distance, somebody said it is rectangular or polygonal or odd shape. But once you travel 1,000 kilometers above the sea level, you're able to see a beautiful blue ball, and you should be able to put it in your pocket. Next work is hard work. No pains, no gains. What I mean is, you feel so happy at the end of the day. Sense of achievement and pride happens through quality circles. I think that passion that we develop really drives us and takes us to the next level. So this hard work comes out as a result of the quality circles. So we learn footwork, teamwork, head work, hard work, and finally network. So we network with people. So we understand what is happening in the next plant, next company. And I think this is a great opportunity to learn from others, and the window gets opened. I was seeing at the ASU Academy of Toyota Industries Corporation when I attended the Executive Leader Development Program in Japan. This institute was situated in the midst of the Pacific Ocean. So I could see the big screen on the window. It says the statement of Sakichi Toyoda, the founder of Toyota Motors, the Toyota family. He started from the weaving when he saw his mother struggling to make the yarn. The slogan reads, "Open the window, the whole world is outside. You can see a beautiful world outside." I think how do we develop that open mind? So quality circle teaches all the 5 works. And I also added the 6th work, which means it is the homework, the reflection, the thought for the day. So at the end of the day, what went well and how can we make it better for the reflection. So all these works we develop through quality circles. The next is suggestion scheme. The suggestion scheme again maximizes the individual's potential and make people give new ideas with an open mind. I think suggestions can be breakthroughs. In fact, some of the big companies like TVS, I was very, very impressed, where single employee has given more than 13,000 suggestions. And year on year, they are able to get more than 100,000 suggestions. So the promotion of suggestion schemes, the top management drive, the kind of open atmosphere, awarding and recognizing them, then managers should motivate and drive this continuously. And a lot of cross-functional teams and administration teams to capture the suggestions and timely implementation of the suggestions. All this infrastructure make up a very, very important part. Then the Kaizen culture, I think this is again super important. So continual improvement is what we call as one of the 5 important pillars of Toyota production system. So Kaizen is abnormality management according to me. Always there is a standard we should set and the current situation we should compare. And the gap between the standard and the current situation, what we call as a problem. And to solve the problem, we should go to the root cause of the problem. Then how do we do that? We go to the Genji Gimbutsu using all the 5 senses, understand the problem at source, then tend to make a countermeasure, which is a occurrence countermeasure, so that the problem doesn't repeat in future. And this kind of a small incremental steps, one at a time, we do and retain that. Once you do a Kaizen, you stabilize it for some time so that we don't deteriorate. Then we go to the next level. Means set a taller target. Again, compare the current situation, set up the gap. Then again, go to the root cause of the problem. Then have a benchmarking. Have the benchmarking of some of the global companies. We should always think that what is being done in the next plant is always better. I think that open mind will give us benchmarking opportunities. Then how to understand the kind of new learnings from those organizations is very important. Then implement them in our current organization. Then the small group activities, cross-functional teams, we call it as Jishuken. They're all very, very important to solve some important chronicle problems. Meaning some problems are very simple at QCC stage. Some kind of Kaizens are possible by small groups. But however, some intricate chronic problems have to be solved through a cross-functional teams drawn from various areas like production, manufacturing, maintenance, and they work on the specific theme for 1 or 2 or 3 months, and they're able to solve these problems with the support of management. To do all these things, I think the problem-solving mind is very important across all these functions, be it the Kaizen or the small group or the suggestions or the quality circles. So it's very easy to make a 1,000-page or 100-page report, but same thing if you have to put it in an A3 paper, which is a basic foundation of Toyota in developing people, this is very, very difficult. So in the process of churning again and again and again, we develop human resource development. We develop leaders. I remember my A3 writing. This was a 6-month program in Toyota Motor Corporation in Japan. So I had more than 3 presentations in our Bangkok office and 3 presentations in the headquarters in Japan. I remember I had more than 50 meetings with my then Mr. Isashi Suzuki, the managing director. So if you ask me, have I really completed my A3? Still, I don't have that satisfaction. So this is where the human development happens. Even billion-dollar investments are made in a single A3 paper in Toyota. I think this is the core to have a strong Kaizen mind. Prioritization. Then the people development through systematic work-life plan is the last point that I would like to touch upon, the people development. So how do we develop people? Various levels I talked about: team leaders, group leaders, assistant managers, senior managers, general managers, vice president, and so on and so forth. So every role has to be performed with pride, joy, and dedication. Therefore, we map the contents of each role, then what kind of training activities are required to perform that role in the best possible way. We have a global benchmarking. Then training curriculum is made both knowledge-based, skill-based curriculum, and some exposures or on-the-job training also planned, and the people are developed at various levels. In fact, the trainings are very, very important, and they're continuous process. And training is the shortest way to organizational prosperity, as I said earlier. There is no shortcut. Even in the most of the times, we don't compromise on HRD, which is the basis of an organizational prosperity. So at every level, it is visualized. So the skill training, the knowledge training. And to develop this work-life plan, we also develop a lot of skill centers. We call the dojos in Japanese, meaning we have production skill center, maintenance skill center, logistics skill center, quality skill center, tool room skill center. So all the back to basics are being taught in the skill centers, and people develop the fundamental elemental skills: how to tighten the bolt nut, how to assemble a grommet, how to assemble a rubber boot. All these things, there are a lot of skills involved, and not only the practical skill sets. First the knowledge, then the skill are trained to all the members until they achieve the perfect levels. And this happens through a continuous evaluation process and a feedback mechanism. So all these things are very important for human resource development. Once this is happening, then our organization is getting into a kind of huge breakthrough for creating a positive Kaizen atmosphere. So I will briefly touch upon the knowledge portion. So we have the functional knowledge and the management portion. In the functional knowledge, the basic product knowledge is addressed, back to basics, how mechanisms work, how each element operates in the assembly, again relating to the basic laws of science, the laws of motion, the basics of thermodynamics, etc., etc. Then the mission operation maintenance, the basic of machine elements, the basics of fixturing, tooling, jig TPM, all those areas are being trained. Then hydraulics and pneumatics, safety elements and functions. Safety is the starting point again, fixture and jig design. The management knowledge, we focus on the Toyota production system, which means the elimination of waste. We are basically Muri, Mura, and Muda. Muri is difficult to do things. Whichever is difficult to do, that area is focused from the economics point of view, and we make kaizens and countermeasures. So please understand, when you walk to the shop floor, if you find somebody struggling to make a job, you can be rest assured that that area is going to have safety and quality problems. Therefore, Muri elimination is the first step. Then next is Mura. Anything that fluctuates is a big enemy to operations. For example, the absenteeism in the month of Deepavali, it is very, very high, 20-30%. Or in the times of Pongal or Magara Shankaranti. But normal days, it is less than 5%. So this is a huge waste. Therefore, how do we achieve a 10% level across the organization at all times? Once we achieve that, we can plan less people for absenteeism cover. So anything that fluctuates is a huge waste. So this we need to understand. Anything that fluctuates being the very important pillar. For example, process capability is fluctuating. That is very dangerous. So you need to get all to the mean limits. So we address this Muri, Mura, and Muda is which doesn't add any value to the product. Walking Muda, inventory Muda, the Muda of overstoring, over quality, over processing, all these things, Muda of logistics, Muda of excess power consumption, all these things are Mudas. Then the Hoshin country, which is again, we make the yearly objectives and targets based on the 5-year plan. The mid to long term plans are drawn based on the mission and vision. Then we draw the yearly plans based on the market situation, environment, reflections of the last year objectives and targets. And this Ocean country, which is the objectives and targets of the company for the every year, is driven to the departments, divisions, groups, cells, and ultimately individuals. Everybody is focusing for a single purpose. I think it's an extremely, extremely powerful tool. And the KPIs are set very clearly on safety, quality, productivity, cost, morale, human resource development, environment, all the factors. It's continuously measured. And cost management, this is again very, very important. Every cost is visualized, the fixed cost and the variable cost. And every element is visualized. And the target is very clearly set. And this is reviewed every week by the general managers. And every month it is reviewed by the top management, reported to top management in the company-wide cost meeting. Then all these meetings, interestingly, most of the times happen in the shop floor where the real processes are happening, again through Genji Gimbutsu. And this cost management is very, very important because it opens a new set of paradigms in terms of benchmarking, understand our current levels, the problematic areas, then trying to understand the root cause of the problem at source, then trying to take countermeasures. I think we can discuss in length at some other opportunity. Then the communication skills are very, very important. Communication is always two-way communication. There's no meaning if it is a single way. I think communication skill is an art. Again, how do we develop people through this sound communication skills, including the union management negotiations. Every year it happens. Normally 40, 50 meetings happen. The purpose is not negotiation. The purpose is human development. We develop the union and other members through this process so that they understand the company purpose, the big picture of the long-term implications. And as a team, we go forward. In the role training, already talked about it. Problem solving, I talked. A3 writing also, I have already talked about. Then the skill development, again, how to perform the standardized work, how to perform abnormality management, how to perform the problem solving, how to implement the data production system based on the material and information flow. So that how do you optimize the layout? How do you optimize the information flow? How do you optimize the material flow? How do you reduce the inventory at every stage? And ultimately, how to make the manufacturing itself is lean, comfortable for all, and a continuous smooth operation. Then, to strengthen the workplace, we need to visualize all the activities, both the process KPI and the result KPI need to be visualized and compared all the time. And we understand the problem at source through Genji Genbutsu and take it forward. And skill to promote team activity is very, very important, like quality circles, Kaizen activities, cross-functional teams, and employee motivation. So we have a lot of celebrations on achievement of good results, the safety month celebrations, quality month celebrations, environment celebrations, skill achievement celebrations, skill competitions, quality circle competitions, not only in-house, on a global platforms are very, very important. Systems and standards, I'll just go through basic HR systems, work rule and standards, quality management systems, 3 pillar, meaning the standardized work, the process point management, and the ownership maintenance, which are the 3 very, very important pillars. And each pillar has got the 3 levels: bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze is a basic system level. Silver is improving by Kaizens and rotation of PDCA. And gold is achieving the global KPIs. So again, each pillar is very significant. So if you achieve gold, it's a very perfect condition. And we are on the top of the world. So even perfecting silver itself is a great task. So all these 3 pillars provide a world-class manufacturing competency to all the organizations. Ocean country I talked about, cost management company-wide and plant-wide, company-wide meetings on safety, quality, environment, manufacturing, human resource development, visualization I talked about, focus on Genji Genbutsu. So basically the nutshell I'm trying to say, the daily management in the shop floor through 3 pillar activity, which is very, very important to visualize the problems at source, understand the key KPIs, then understand the problems at source and take countermeasures, occurrence countermeasure. So all these things are tabled here. So the continuous improvements through the 3 pillar activity and the daily management ultimately visualized, understood by all. Then we improve the KPIs. Ultimately, it leads to cost achievement and cost competitiveness. So the cost management themes on the direct parts, machine spares, cutting tools, life extension, repairs and reuse, localization of all these spares, use of IoT to enhance the life of machine spares, design improvement of cutting tools, low-cost automation to reduce manpower. We call it as Karakuri, using natural energy, gravity, etc. Development of AGVs by our own teams at a very low cost, use of green power, VFD in electrical elements, use of SCADA systems for electrical energy, real-time monitoring and detection. I think cost management both at the plant level and company level is very, very important. And finally, I think it's benchmarking is very, very important. Systematic benchmarking with other plants, global plants, understanding our levels, promotion of innovation. Karakuri, I said, use of gravity, linkages, and low-cost automation through use of our own talents and thinking simple mechanics is very, very important to develop people. And technology development is very important to achieve breakthroughs, embracing Industry 4.0 by prioritizing low-hanging fruits. I think these are all very, very important steps to promote world-class manufacturing and achieve cost competitiveness. And of course, finally, promotion of sustainability and the CSR to support the local community and bring the best out of all people's support is very, very important. And this continuous develop of activities through low-cost automation, I just visualize it here. So LCA is low-cost automation, meaning we tend to achieve less space, no or less maintenance, lowest cost, low power, and no actuators. So safety is also ensured and highly flexible and reliable process. So there's some of the CSR activities. In the COVID times, we tend to support the community. We created the oxygen generator machine to support the local COVID center. We supported a lot of local schools. We conducted the road safety campaigns through skits with the local children and distribution of important notebooks and related material to the local school children. All these things take our organizations together with the community, and with their support we grow. So in summary, to achieve cost competitiveness is not a simple thing. You need to address totality, and all these four people of pillars, basically the people, the culture, the systems, and the standards. All these four pillars need to be focused on the strong foundation of forests and safety. Safety first, we say, and quality must. Thank you very much for the patient listening. Once again, I thank IMTMA for this opportunity, and sorry for the shortage of time. Each subject is a big subject by itself, but for the shortage of time, I thought I touched upon the basics. Once again, thank you very much. All the best. God bless.
Mr. Parasuraman, your very insightful keynote address was clearly brought out the importance and merits of enhancing productivity in order to manage costs effectively. We deeply value your views. On behalf of IMTMA, I thank you most graciously for taking time off from your busy schedule to be with us at this summit.